Hello friends, welcome to the next part of NEXT.js13 series. In this part, we will learn how to handle forms in Next.js and also create, update and delete the data using the API we have created in this series. Now, if you're new in this channel and don't know about this tutorial, you can still follow this course because I will clear everything just as a new project, but I highly recommend you to watch the entire playlist so then you can understand everything much better. With that being said, now let's get started. So for now in our project, if I click on create, nothing happens. And if I click on edit button, we see nothing. But if we go to the original project, now as you see, if I click here, we got this form and we can create some data here. The same way, if I edit some form, now as you see, we got the same title and the same data, which we can just update in a matter of minutes by clicking on the update button, and it will update everything. And the same way, of course, if we want, we can just click on the delete and it will just delete the data and we will be redirected to the last post which we have created. So let's go ahead and add all these functionalities also to this project which we are working on. So for this, I'll go back to the VS Code and here inside my components, I'll create first of all a new component and I'll call this form dialog or dialog, whatever you call this. So JSX, and for this we need a model from Material UI. So for this I'll go inside the browser and here I'll type mui.com and then from there I'll search for model as we were searching for model before, so it's already here. So now we can copy a model from here. So I'll use just this basic one and fill out with new data. So I'll just click on source. And don't forget, it's using TypeScript and also JavaScript. You have to click on JavaScript because we are not using TypeScript here. So I'll just copy this, or we can click on this copy button and everything is copied for us and we can paste it here. Now this is called basic model. I'll say here form model as the name. So form model like that, and then now I'll just remove this style from here. We don't need any kind of style, and also this button from here. So let's remove this one, and then we got our form on close, and the other things can be the same thing, but we got this box. So let's remove the style from here, otherwise you'll get some error. So let's remove this box also from here. We got just one simple model and we are not using typography and box, so let's remove them also. And now we can import some extra things from Material UI. Now instead of typing them and wasting your time, let me copy those imports here. So we are importing the dialog actions, which means if we click here, now this area is called the actions where we add our buttons, and then we got dialog content inside which we will put just our contents, and then dialog title, so it will be just the title of our dialog here. And also we need some text box for all these text box here. As you see, we got this text box. We need one checkbox for this featured post, and also we need the select. So let's add them also. Now here, first of all, I'll import the text field. So I'll import the text field from Material UI. So MUI material text field, import the text field. And then we also need the checkbox. So let's bring this also here. Now we got our checkbox, and also we need the button because for all those actions we will be using the button. So the button component here, and that's I think it for here. And let's go ahead and use them. Now first of all we need the dialog title, which is just here. So we'll be using the title first. Now we got our model, and inside this model I'll create just a simple div. You can use React fragment, but here I'll be using the div, and then we need that dialog. So let's remove this Y from here, and then we'll close this, of course. Now here you can call this anything you want. For now I'll say create post, and after that we'll be using our content. So that's why we need the dialog content. So dialog content, which we have imported. Now inside this we'll be using our text fields and also checkbox and button. So here I'll type text field, and we'll use the text field here, and also it's self-closing, so let's close this. But inside this we need different props. The first one will be the name for this. So the name of this I'll call title, and then we can define, for example, if it's required or not. So it's required, so like this, and then autofocus, so it will just focus automatically like this. And then we need the margin, so I'll just give some margin from other text fields, so this will be dense. If you're not familiar with Material UI 5, I have already created a course, so please watch that before you continue here, or take a minute and go in MUI.com, and from there try the text field and understand the margins and also these props which are available there for you. With that being said, then we need our ID. So the ID of this will be the same thing, just like name. And then we got a label, so this label will be appear inside our form. So I'll say it is the title, and then you can define the width of this component. So here I'll say it is a full width, so it will cover all the form for us. So it will be a long text field. And then the variant of this, as we got different variants, so let me show you also this, because for beginners it can make some problem. So here you can search for text field in MUI.com. So now if you come down here, you can see there are different text fields which we can use. Now here it got different variants, so the outline is this one from here. So we got all these lines, and if you click on it, it will just animate itself. You can use, of course, the other ones if you want. You just need to then change your variant to standard or variant to filled. And also there are many other examples here which you can use. And also you'll be using the multi-line. So the multi-line means we have something like for commenting the data. So for description we'll be using this one. So there are many things you can try it yourself. With that being said, now let's go back. Now here we got the variant. You can use anything you want, but I like the outlined one, so I'll be using this one here. And then we need more text fields. Now instead of typing everything, so let's just copy this and make some changes. And then here we need text field for our image URL. So you can use the excerpt. I say first of all I need the image URL, so here it will be just image URL, the name, and we'll be using the same name for ID and also for the label, but this will be capital letter, and this should be the same thing. And again we need this for excerpt, so text field, image URL. Now here I'll say it's excerpt like that, and we'll be using this for the other names here also like that. And then copy this one again, and here we'll be using this for the description now. So for the description we have called that content, so let's call this also content here, and we'll be using this as content, and here the C will be capital letter. But as I said, this will be our multi-line, so here we can define this props of multi-line, and also I'll say the number of rows will be 2 here, and the other things are the same like that. And then we need one more for our name or for the author name here. So let me copy this one, copy, and then I'll just paste it here, and we will say here it will be just our author, and copy it, and we'll be using the same name here and also the same name here. Now let me save this, and then after this we need our checkbox and also the categories. So if I come here, now as you see we got this checkbox and also the categories. For this I'll create one box here. So for this I'll say box, so I'll import the box from MUI material, and then I'll say here SXS equal to, for example, the display of this will be flex. So you can use also the stack or anything you want. So here for me it will be easy, so display of flex, and then I'll say align the items, so it will be just center for me like that. And then we need also a margin of 2, so we'll get a margin from the each other. So here I'll say 2, and then we can of course just close this, not self-closing, but this time we need some data inside this, so that's why we'll just close this like that. And also here now we need the input label, so we have to import the input label also from material UI. So MUI material we have input, but we need this time just input label, so it's imported. Now let's give it some name. Now here the first one will be our featured, so I'll say featured here like that. And then after this we need the checkbox, we have imported that already, so here now I'll be using checkbox like that. Also for checkbox we need some more properties, but for now I'll just use the name, and this will be equal to featured because we will need this name for form handling. And also here we need the checked, so the checked can be true or false. So for now I'll say it will be just true, so we can see the example like that. And then after this we need one more time this input label, so let me just copy this one from here, and we'll be using that. Oh, we don't need to close the checkbox like this, it's self-closing like that. And after this box we need our another label, so like this. Now I'm using this display flex not for them to be top of each other, but these two, the label and also the checkbox. And after this we'll have our another label, and here we'll be using this for our category, so I'll say choose category here like that. And then we need of course some data here to be selected, so that's why we will be using the select of HTML, just select here, and then we'll just, or we can import the select from MUI material. That's better because we can use some more props here now. So now I'll say here, for example, it should be full width, so everything look better as our text boxes here. And also for that we need some ID, so the ID of this will be category like this. And then we need the label, so the label of this will be just category like that. And then we need here some data, so here I'll say menu item, and I'll import this also from MUI material. So for every data we'll get one menu item, but as we have no data yet, so here I'll say just default, so we can see the example. Later on we will map on our categories, so we'll select everything there. So after this we need our dialog actions where we'll use our buttons also, so I'll say here dialog actions, and after this we need our buttons. So here now we'll be using the button, so as it's imported, now the button, and then we'll call this button, for example, the first one, which will be create, and we have to pass some props for this also. Now here I'll say the variant of this. Now it's contained like that, and also we'll say the color of this should be primary, which is a blue color, and that's it for this button. But after this we need another button, so let me copy this one twice, and this time it will be just delete button, or we just need this once because we will be using the same button here for updating the data. So here we'll say the delete, and the color of this will be danger, which is the red color. So danger, and we'll save it. So now as we got everything, let's go ahead and see the result. Now for this form to be opened, we need these props here. So open and handle close. Now if we want to open this from our navbar, so we got here also a button, and which is just the create button here. Now if we want to use this button to open that, we have to accept the props for our component. So here I'll say we accept props, and then here we will be using not these handles from here because these are not what we need. So for now I'll just remove all this from here and paste them inside the component where we will use that. Now for here it will be props.open because we will get the data of open from our props, and also props.close or .handle close, doesn't matter what you name, you have to then pass the same props from your other component. So let's save this, and now we'll go to our navbar, and here we need that function first. So I'll come here and let me find a place for this. Now as you see, handle close and open close is already there, and also set open is here. So we got everything, but we need a new state for our form also. So here I'll say open form and set open form. So it will just open our form here for us, and the first one will be just false, and instead of this react.useState, as we have imported the useState already, we can use the useState directly. And then we save this, and now we got our create button here. Now inside this create button we can create a function. So now I'll go to this menu item of create, and here I'll say on click. Now we'll use on click event, and we'll use a callback function here, just as we always do. And now here I'll say set open form. Now as the initial value or the starting value of our state, which is just here, we got this state. Now the initial value of this is false, so we will change this to true if someone clicked on our create button. So here I'll say set form, so to not open form, like this. So it will be the opposite of our false. If it's false, it will be true. If it's true, it will be false. Now let's save this and see the result. And here we'll come here to our create, and if we click on this, nothing happens yet. So let's see what do we got false here. So set open form to not open form, and we got not open form here. But the point is here, how should this navbar know about our form dialog? Because we haven't imported that here. So we need to import our dialog here. So I'll say here import form dialog or form model. Now as we call this form dialog, okay, so from form dialog, we need the form model because we named this like that, and export that also with the same name, so it's export default of form model. So that's why we get this like this here. And then in this navbar we need to use this somewhere, otherwise we can't pass all those props which we need for this model here. So for this, at the end of that, so here after this container, we can use our form model here. So here after this app bar, we can just use our model also. So let's paste that here like this, and it's self-closing also, but inside this we now can pass our props. So the first one will be here open, and this will be our open form, so we'll pass our state of open form here. And then we need handle close, so we need the other function which is called handle close, and we have to create this also. We could also do as that handle close, we could say here get a callback function, so we can use just a callback function as we did before. Now we can use the same thing here. Now we can say here set open form, so it will set that to false. So in that case it will just close everything for us. Now let's save this and let's go ahead and see the result again. Now we got here the value state color is not defined, so let's see what we got false here. So it says palette.color is undefined. Let me refresh this one. So now let's click on this create, and it's giving the same error message. Now here we got some problem inside our form, so let's go to the model, and here we need to search for color. I think I got some problem here, so let's remove them to see to check if everything is from here like that. I save it, and if we go back and refresh this, click on it, so now as you see we got our form here, but as we are using the model and we have removed the paper, that's why we don't get the white background color here. So for this I'll come back here, and as we got the model from model, so now instead of this model let's import the dialog from material UI. So here I'll say dialog, and it should be imported from material UI dialog. So let's go ahead and use this. So it's slightly different than the model, so it has no E at the end, so I need dialog, and we'll use this instead of this model here. Now let's save this, and as we come back, as you see, we got a new dialog for us. Now everything is working as we want, and we got our categories also, but at the moment we can't change anything here because we are not using the handlers, but for now it's more than enough. So if I click outside this, it is just gone. If we click this, it will just come up. We can use the same thing now for this edit button, so let's do this for now also. Now I'll go here, and instead of this navbar here, so let me use this open form. Now we need this function also there, so we'll go inside hero first, and here we'll be using that function, so it will be there, form and set form, and of course we need to import our dialog. So let's import this, import, now what we call this, it was form model, so like that, and we'll be using this also the same way as we did before, so that's why we can just copy paste everything. So I'll just copy this one and paste it here and the hero. So after this edit button here, now inside this grid we will add that also here. So I'll just add my model here and save it. Now we need to open this also the same way as we did before, but this time with this edit button here. So for this, we'll come here and we'll create an on-click event also. Even we can just copy everything because it is just the same thing. So it's on create. Now we'll use this one and just use it here. So it will do the job for us as before. And now let's save this. And if we go back, we got user sets not defined. So we have to import the user state also. So React, comma, we need to import also use state from React. So use state, save it. And if we come back, so now here if I click on this, it will not work because we are using two different cards here, which the first one is the bigger and the others are the small one. So that's why if I click here in the small ones we got everything, but here in the big ones we don't get that. So for this, now we need to add the same thing also here in our map. So let's go inside the hero and we need this on click. So we'll be adding this also here inside our fab. So here we'll add this also. Now if we save this and go back and click on it, as you see the forms get open. But as you see, we are getting the form open and we can close this. But the point is here, if we click on create, we get the same dialog, and also if I click on the open, the same thing happens. Now the point is here, if we click on edit, we should see all those data of our post, so we can click on edit so we can edit that. But here, as you see, we got no data inserted. And also you can see it says create post. Now we are here to update or delete the post, not create post. Create post belongs just here. So let's go ahead and take care of that also. Now for this, we can go inside form dialog, and from here we can make some changes. Now the point is here, we are accepting already props. Now what we can do is we can use a user state, so we can fetch the data from here. So from our hero, which is coming from this map, like from our props, and then post, and we get this map. Now all these data is available here. Now what we can do is we can also collect those data or send those data using props to our model. But for this, we have to also accept those data inside our model. So that way we will be able to fetch all those data which we want to edit. Now here I'll create the use state to check if the data is available. Now for this, I'll just say const, as usual we do, and we need some arrays of course, and here I'll say values. Now you can call this anything you want, but I'll say it is values and set values. Now this will be equal to our use state. Of course, use state should be imported from React, but I'll remove this React from here, and instead of this I'll just import this directly. So now we got use state, and then we can just import this from React. Now it's imported, and then inside this we should pass some value. Now instead of just one value here, we can also pass an objects of value here. Now we can pass those objects of values. So here I'll say I need a title, which will be just nothing at start, and also the same way I need the image URL and all other form data which we need. So let me copy this because we don't want to waste our time here. Now as I got this object of data here, now what we can do is we can use this one also inside our form. So let's go ahead, first close this object. Now we got one object, and then we can use these values inside our form. But as I said, we want to receive the data also. So we want to receive the data from our props. So that's why we need to use an if else statement here. So here I'll say if there is props.post, so you can call this anything you want. I will call this post because we are fetching our post here, of course. So here I'll say if there is a post object inside my props, in that case then use this object, otherwise use this object which has nothing here. So here it will be a new object. So now we need all these data from here. Now we can copy this one, and then instead of these values here we will use props.post.title, for example. Now we'll use this one and we'll say here props.post.title. In the same way we need everything for the others. So let me copy paste everything here like this, like that, here, here, and here. And then we need the same name, so we can just copy everything here like that, author, and we got featured. And then we get the category name. It will be also the same thing. Now as we got this, so now if we pass an object of post to our model from anywhere, then this condition will work. Otherwise it will just take everything from here. Now let's save this. So let's go ahead and use this also in our form. So for that we need the values and also props.post. So let's go ahead inside our dialog, and first thing is this name here. Now for this we can also create an if else condition. So we need the curly braces, so we can type our JavaScript here, and then I'll say props.post. So if there is props.post, then the dialog name will be different. So I'm not going to use this one here, but it should be outside and also here like this. So if we got props.post, in that case it should just give me this dialog here. We need the parentheses here, otherwise we get this error. Otherwise, so if this is not the case, so here you'll say if it's a post, then it should say update data or update post. Otherwise it will use the same thing from here. Let me copy this one and paste it, and here we'll say create post. So let me save this, and now as you see we got update post. So if there is a props of post here, then it will show update post, otherwise it will show create post. So let's see everything in action now. So for this, at the moment, if we go back here, if we try here, as it says create post, but if we click here, it's still create post, no changes. Now the reason is here we are passing no data here inside our model, which is this form model. Now to make this condition true, we have to pass all these data from here to our form dialog. So for this, as we are accepting everything as post, so I'll say post is equal to an object. In this object will be all the data from our map here. So we are mapping every data as post, so we can also use this to send them inside our props. Now why not do this? So let's go ahead and do that. Now for that we'll go here inside our object, and first of all we need our post underscore id. So we need the post id, and this will be here. We need also double curly braces, so like this, and then it will have a key. So the key of this will be post underscore post, not underscore like that, dot post underscore id. Now this post is coming from our map. So if we come here, as you see, we are receiving every post from our prop, which is coming from our index.js. So here we got everything as post. We are receiving everything from our API, and then we sent everything to our hero and also to our section. Now the same way as we got access to all those data here, we can send those data also to our model using the props. So we are getting every data as post. So that's why I'm using this key value pairs. The key will be the same key we are receiving here inside our form, and also the value will be just from our map here. So now as we got the post ID, we can use the title and also image URL and everything. So let me copy everything here also so we don't waste the time. Now as you see, I'm getting the post title, image URL, excerpt, and everything we need. Now let's save this and go back and check everything. Now here, if I click on create, you can see we got the create post. But now if I go to edit, now as you see, it says update post. So it means everything is working as we want, but we still have no access to our data. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Now for this, I'll come back here, and inside our text, so our text fields, we got one more props, which is the value. Now this value can be anything. So here, for example, I'll type something. So, and if you go back, you will see that something is written here. Now the same way, instead of the something, as we are receiving all the data inside our state here, so it's passing itself to these values and set values, so we can receive these data using the values here. Now you can say just copy this one, and we will go here inside each text box here. We'll be using a value. Now I'll say value, and this should be values dot, for example, title. Now you could use also directly props dot post dot title, but in case where you are using the create model, so you don't need any data there, and that way you would get some error. Also here we got some error because we are using the value key twice. So let's remove this something, and instead of this we'll be using this title, but instead of this props.post we use our state, which is values.title. Now let's save this, and if we come back and let me refresh this, and if we click on edit, now as you see we got our post new image recent, which is just the title of this one from here. Now also if we try open this, as you see we got the same title. Now the reason is, as our form ends on that post, so our last post, so JavaScript just opens that last post for us, because here we got inside our form model we have open form, so it will just, as we click on this, it will just open the last form for us. Now we have to make some changes to open different forms in each click. Now for this we'll just go ahead inside our form or our model here. Now here first of all we'll give it a key. So the key of this will be post underscore ID. So this way we have different form models, but also here for this open, as it will open just the last post, we have to pass some condition here. Now to solve this, now here I'll say if it's open create. Now so if there's open create and this is equal to post underscore ID, then show me the model. So it will be true. else it will be just false. Now what I'm doing here, so if someone click on this and the set open or the open create, or we call this here I think something else, which is open form. So we said if open form is equal to post.postid, then this open should be true, otherwise false. And here now, instead of true and false, we will use the same condition. Now here I'll say set form. Now if someone click on this, the set form will be this post.postid, which means now the open form will be same to the post ID, and this way we will get the form to true. Otherwise, if it's not the same thing, we will get the false. This way we get on every form a new ID, and that's why we will open on each click a new form. So let's check everything. Now let's save this, and if you go back and click on this, so edit, it's not working. Let's refresh this one. Maybe there's some problem. Now let me click on this. No, it's still not working. Here it's working. So edit. Okay, the same problem as before. We are not using it yet here. We are using just on the small ones. So let's use this also here. Now we have to update our function here like that and save it. So now if we go back and click on this, it's still not working because now we are not getting the form here also, because we are looping through this. So we need this form model also there. Otherwise it will not work, because we are opening new model for each loop. So that's why we need the same thing here also. So inside of this card, and we got this grid. So after this here, we'll just paste that and save it. And now if we go back, as you see, we got the form here. Now if we click outside, it's gone. Now let me click on this one. So it's post 3. And if we click our new post, so as you see, we get the same title here, and also the same thing is here. We are getting this long title as we used before. So which means everything is working as desired, but we are still not having that create optionality and also the update. So let's take care of that also. Now for this, I'll go to form dialog, and here we'll be using the value everywhere because we need this now. So now we got this image URL. So it will be just image URL, and we can copy this and use the same thing here for excerpt. So as the names are same, so you can just copy paste them. The same thing we can use for content like that, and also for author. So author, copy this one. And also for featured here, so we can use checked instead of checked true. We can use values, and here it will be dot featured instead of this. So dot featured like this. And also for this we need our categories. So for now I can use the default one here. So I'll say values dot category here, or category underscore name. So it's underscore values dot category underscore name like this. Let me save this and check if everything is working. Now as you see, we got all the data here, so everything is working as we want. Now it's title, we got image URL, and we got administrator, and we got our category also, which is available here. So now we got everything, but also we'll take care of this category later. For now we can't use the checked also, because everything is just defined as this checked because it's featured already, and we can't change this yet because we are not updating the data. But if we come down here, now as you see, if we click here, nothing happens. So we have to use the same functionality also for our categories, which we show here. So our sections, every section's card should have also the same functionality. Now for this, we'll go back here in the hero. Now we'll be using the same form model, so we can just copy this one and go to section, and here we need our loops, so which is map, and here we'll be using the same thing again. We got our card, we got our edit fab, so after that we'll be using just this model, and then we need also the same thing from here, which is this click, like that, paste it, and also we need the same function from here. So let me use this one here also. We got this, save it, and if we go here, we got some problem and says user state. We have to import the user state. So let me import this here also from React, import it, save, and what else we need? Form model is not defined. Yes, we have to import that also. So it's form model like that, and I'll just import this. Now it's working, so let's check this here. Now as you see, we got the data related to this one, and then we got our new post tree. But as you see, everything is working as we want. We got our author as administrator here, and here author 1, and then we got just author 1, and we are receiving all the data correctly and everything is working for us. So let's go ahead and learn how to now create some new data, and also how to edit those data from here. But first of all, let's remove this create button. Instead of this, we should be able to write here something like update. So for this, I'll go here and inside our form dialog, and then we got this create here. Now here we can define our condition as we did above here for the name. So again, we need our curly braces, and here I'll say props, or we need just once here, like this. So it will be props dot posts, then it should just type for us, for example, or here's just a name, so it will be update, like that. Else the name should be something like create. So we got create, we got update, should be capital letter here also, but we're not using this as string, so let me use this just normal, because it's, or we need to use a string. Okay, so let's save this and see if we got an error. Now we got no error here, but the text is here changing. It's saying update, and if we click here, it's saying create, like that. It's looking perfect. But also I want to change the colors of that, so here I'll say color of this should be, and here we can pass the same condition actually. So let's copy this one, and we'll say here like this, if props.posts available, then the color will be successful, which is the green color. Otherwise, no color, which means the create color. So let's see. Now it says color is not defined. Oh, I use successful here. It's just success, like this. So let's save this, and if we come back, now it's working. Now if we click on this, it says again success is not correct. So let's see what it means. Now we got success, otherwise it should be something like primary, maybe this is the case. So let's save this and let's check now. Now it's working. As you see, we got blue color for our create, and if we go to edit, we will get this green color here. Now of course we can use the same thing for delete, but for delete we don't need any condition here. We can just use the name of the color here. So here I'll say for this, the color of that will be error, which is the red color, and MUI. So as you see, we got this one. We can update this, we can delete this. So we got this here, and we can click outside of that, we get out of that form. So everything is working correctly. Now we need to create and also delete and update the data from our API. So let's see how to do this. So now for this, we'll go back to VS Code, and here let me close this. So from here we just need our form dialog, and here we'll create a new function in which we will cover our create data. So here I'll say here, let me just comment this also. So I'll say here create and update posts, for example, and then we'll say the function. So const, here you can call this anything you want. For example, I'll say here it's post data, and this should be async. Now it's a function, and then it should be our arrow. It's just a normal function as we do normally. So here we need const, and we'll be using Axios. So const stress is equal to, now for this we need await. So as our function is async, so we need also the await here. Let me give some space here, and we got await, but here we need the Axios also. So let's import the Axios. So I'll say import Axios from Axios, like that, and then we can use it, of course. So here I'll say Axios. Now as I want to create the data, so I'll say dot, and this should be post. And for this, as it suggests here already, which means you need your API URL, which will be the string, and also all the data which you want to send as a post data here. So for this we will be using the same thing. That's why let me use this. So HTTP our localhost, so it's just our API link, and this will be 3000, and it is API, and it's post. Now let's check this if it's working. Now as you see, everything is working. So let's go back. Now we got it here. Then as it suggests, we need also our data which we want to pass here. So for this we will pass our values. Now the values will be all these keys from here. Now it's nothing. So later on, if we type something in our forms, we will add that to this values object or this state, and then we will just pass this here with our URL together and send this to our server, and from our server of course we run our SQL script, so that way we will save all those data. Now as we got this, so let's go ahead and use that also. Now I'll just end this, and then here I'll say const post data is equal to, as we are using the Axios, so all the data will be inside the data, so response.data, and then we have to return those data again. So for this I'll say here return this, so it will be our data which we have received, so it will be post data. Now we got our post data, so we can save this. Now this way we can create our data from our form. But what about our update? Now for update, what we could do is we could just copy this one and use it again. But let me show you another trick. So as we are using everything in this way of if else, so why not here? We can use the same thing. Now here I'll say that request.response is equal to, but here we can use our conditions also. So I'll use the backticks so we can add some JavaScript here, and then I'll say it will be $, and then we need our curly braces. Now here I say if it's props dot post, so if we got any posts inside our props, in that case it should update the data. So we'll use this Axios, but in this case we'll be using the put and not the post, so we will just update the data. Else, so if it's not the case, then it should just post the data for us like this, and here we don't need this one. And as you see, there's no error, so everything is working. So we are just saying if we got some post data, then it should put or update the data. If that's not the case, then it should just post the data, which is create the data using these values. But for updating our data, what we also need is an ID, because otherwise we'll get some error. Now the reason is, if we go to our API inside our post and the post ID here, now as you see, for our put we have defined that it should update the data if the method is put, but also we said where post ID is equal to question mark. Now this question mark is equal to the request query ID, so we need also an ID here. So for that, we can use our form ID now. So in this case, it's just easy, because inside our props, for each form, we are getting its data for our form to update the data. So that way, we have also access to its IDs. So it's just easy here. Now I'll go here, and after this post, I'll just add some $, here, and then the curly braces. Now to use the JavaScript here also, of course, we need the backticks. So let's use the backticks here, just like that. Now here we can use the ID from our props. So props.post.post_ID. So we can update the data according to its ID. So now, as we are finished with our post data function, so we can use this now. But in React and Next.js, we can't use this post data or any create or update function directly inside our form. To do this, we need to use one more function, which I call in this case just handle submit. So I'll just comment this, submits the data, so, or just say saves data and redirect to home page. So it will just redirect us to home page after saving the data. So here I'll say const handle submit. So handle submit, and this will be equal to, and here I use the event listener first. So, and then we need our function just normally as we do before, like that. And here I'll say dot, so I'll prevent the default first. So prevent default, and then we will be using our post data function. So here I'll say post data function, and inside this as parameter I'll be using the values. So I'll pass all the values for this function here. So post data, now it will be values like that, and then after this we will redirect this, but to redirect this we need the next router. Now let's import this. So here I'll say import use router from next, and then we need the router here. So we will import the use router from next router, and then we'll use it here as a function. So I'll create a const use router, or const router is equal to use router function, and then we can use this router. So let's copy this, and inside the function, so here we'll be using this, so router dot push. So it will be a push function of our router, which will send us to the home page. So now we got this, so let's save this one. And now as everything is done, so let's use this handle submit. Now for this, we'll go to our form. From our dialog content where we find all our text fields, here we will open a form. So it will be just an HTML form like this, and here we'll say on submit, it should use our function of handle submit. Of course, we need to cover everything in the form, so we'll go just to dialog const end like that and save it. So now we got access to all these data here, but the point is here, if we go back and still if I go here and try to just update something, so you can see I can't type anything, and the same way if I want to create, you can see I can't type anything inside it. Now for this, we need to create one more function to handle this problem. So I'll call this function handle change. Now for this, I'll come here and create a function. So const and handle change. You can name it anything you want, but as it handles our change, we call this handle change like this. And don't forget, here we are also using the event listener like that. And then we need, of course, our curly braces. Now here, this function can be a little confusing for the beginners. So let me make everything clear what we are doing here. Now, as I said, we are using an event listener. So now what actually this event listener is doing for us? So if we go back to browser, now as you see, we are using this for this form. Now the event listener listens on what will happen. So for example, if I type here something, now if I type something, nothing happens. But what I want to achieve is that if I type something to the title or to image URL or to excerpt, wherever in these fields I type something, I want to save them to our object, which is here. This is the object of values. Inside this, we got all those key value pairs, which is title, image URL, and excerpt. And these are all what we want to send inside our form. Now, anything if we change here should be also changed inside our object, because here if we get the data from our props of post for updating, then the data will be always the same. But we have to find a way to change the data and still have all those other old data for us which we don't want to change. In the same way here, if I want to leave the title just empty, then it should be empty. But if someone types something to my title, then it should be added to this object here. Now to achieve this, we use this function, and here we listen to our event. So now what we have to do is we should bring all the data to this values object using set values. So that's why I'll come here and I'll say set values like this, and inside this then we need to pass our new object. Now this will be inside this set values, but what we can do is we can add also here a function. So here I'll use just directly a callback function. So for this I'll say, for example, new state, or you can call this new object, new data, whatever you want. So I'll say I'll use a new state for the values, and this new state will get the function here. And then of course for this function to use it, we need our fat arrow and we need our curly braces. So now we have to find a function or a way to add all those data inside our new state. Now if I also hover on this new state, as you see, this new state is a new object. As you see, it's just one object, and we have to find a way to add all those forms data to these objects keys. So to the title should be whatever the user types inside the title, for image URL whatever they use for image URL, and so on. So for that, in JavaScript we got an operator which is called a spread operator. And to use the spread operator, we use 3 dots and then our object name, so new state, and then we will say from where should it get all those data for us. Now, comma, and here we define from where should it find each data for our each parameter here. For example, for our title, it should find the title. Now for this, we will use the event listener. So here we need the array, and we'll say e, so event dot target dot name. So what we are saying here, take the targeted name from our event and use its value also. So e dot target dot, and as the name says, it is value. Now it will do just the same thing for us. It will go ahead inside our form, for example. So if we go back here, it will save all these previous data. So that's why sometimes you may see this new state will be something like previous state. So we can change this also to previous state, and then we add all those data to the previous state. So that's why we call this previous state, but you can call this anything you want. The point is here you have to understand what you are doing. Now, how should I get access to these targeted names? From where will I get those names and values? Now to do this, we need to copy our function and use this inside our form. So here, as you see, we got one name, and this is called title. So this way, our event listener first find the name for this field, and then it will check or take its value. So it will be values.title. So it will take the previous or the first value. But now here we will add something else also, which will be on change. Now here I'll say on change, if someone change anything, use my function. So it will go ahead inside this function. It will take the previous state and add our new state or our new data to this previous state. Now the point is here, where are we using this function here? It is for our set values. So it means now we are also setting the state of our values in a new object, and that object will be our values, which we then pass to our form. So I hope you have understand how things are working for now. So let's go ahead and try everything, and if you don't understand it yet, please stop the video and repeat this part. Believe me, if you watch this twice or hear this twice or thrice, then you will understand this. And also, if you don't know how a spread operator is working, so please search in Google what is a spread operator in JavaScript. That way you will understand this much better. With that being said, now let's see if everything is working for us. Now, as I said, we need this onChange handler in every field. So for title, the same way we need this for image URL, and also for excerpt. Then we got our field of content and author. So you will add this to each field you want to take its value. So here for this, but we need some extra function. So for now, I'll just let this like this. So let's save this one and let's go to our form. Now as we come back here and let me try type something, as you see, we are able to type because we are changing the value of this title. The same way for this image and excerpt and content, and also for our other, but for featured not yet, because here we need some more functionality. We'll do this in a second, but for now, if I go to edit, as you see the data here, if I change, look, everything is changing. So we are able to change the data or the state of our form. With that being said, now let's go ahead and take care of this featured here. So now as we got this checkbox here, so inside this we will add the functionality also. First of all, I'll say the value of this. Now the value of this should be something from our first value, which is just values dot featured. Now it will be our initial state, which should be just like that. But on change, then we have to create some changes. Now we can use this on change like this here, but it won't work like this. For the checkbox, we need to run a callback function just as we did before. So here we'll use the previous state. So previous state. Now the previous state will be this value with its featured. It can be true or false, or 1 or 0. But we will change this with the new state. So if someone click on this, then it will change its value. But as I said, we have to do everything just as before. So now I have forgot to do something. Now here, what we need is, we need the event listener also, because we want to listen to this event, and then we will add everything to our set values. So set values, and then inside the set values we will run or write our previous state. So here we need our previous state again, and then we will say here we are using our fat arrow just as we did everything before. We will be using this here also. So we got this, and then we need our function, of course, and inside this our curly braces, and then our spread operator. So 3 dots, previous state, like this, comma, and now here we are not going to use the target.name, but instead of that we'll just directly use the featured key, and now we'll use an if else statement. So here I'll say if target dot checked. So if it's checked, then it should be 1, else it should be 0, because we accept everything just like that. If we go back to our schema, which represents our tables, so where do we got the schema? It's in database. So as you see here, we got our featured, and this is an integer, and also the default of this will be 0. So our schema will be 0 or 1. If we would use Boolean here, then it should be true or false. Then you could type here also true, else it should be something like false. But for now I'm using 1 and 0, so that's why I'm using this like that. Now let me save this and check everything. Now if we go back to our browser, and now we should be able to check and uncheck. Look, it works. The same way if I go to create, and here if I click, it will just work as normal. Perfect. It's done here. Now we need to take care of our categories, because we don't have any category here. Now it's just here. We will be using just some React here, so some use effect. Now for this I'll come here, so we need our use effect here, so that's why let's use it. Now here I'll comment this and I'll say fetch all categories like this, and then we'll be using our const. We need the use state, so here cats and set cats. So you can call this categories, but I just make this shortcut. So, and this should be equal to use state, and at the start it will be an empty array, so we will have no data. But after this we will use effect. So use effect from React, it's imported, and inside this we'll be using an arrow function, so like this, and inside that function then we can define our constables, of course. So it will be the same thing as we did before. So here I'll say fetch data, or whatever you call this, fetch categories, and it will be async function. So this here parentheses, and then we need our fat arrow, and here we can use this directly, but let's use some try and catch. So try, we got this here, try catch, so we get some errors if we got here. Now let's use this like that. Now here I'll say again const response is equal to await as it's async, and then we need our axios. This time we are getting the data, so axios.get like this, and we need our URL here, so API URL for our categories, but the rest will be the same. So categories, now let's use them as a string, and here API, and this should be categories, I think, like that. Let's open this and see if we get all this categories here. So let's remove this and use this as category. Yes, we are using this as category, so we can just remove these categories here, and instead of this we'll be using category, and this will be port number 3000, not 3001. I'm using 3001 here. Is our server running in 3001? Well, it will create some problem if we do this like that. So now it's looking good. So let's save this one, and if we go back we can't see anything. We need to fetch our data, so now we need to take care of our statement here. So as we are using use effect, then we can use our this state here. So we will just bring all the response data in this setCats object or state here. So inside this I'll say res.data, so we'll get all the data, and then we'll say in case of any error, so if we got any error, it should console.log that error for us. So console.log, and it should be error like this. Now after that we use the fetch data, so we can see our data. Now fetch data, it will be function, and also don't forget to pass here after this curly braces an empty array, otherwise it will run all the time. In this case, if you put this, it will run just once as you run your page. So save it, and now we can use this. So now to use this, we'll go to our categories here. So after checkbox, we got the categories here. Now we'll be looping all the data here. So for this, we'll be using the map, and here again I'll say cats.map, and then we'll be using as cat everything as categories cat. So doesn't matter what you name this, but you have to use the same thing here, and then here we will return everything as menu item. So let's use this one like that, and we will pass some keys here. So I'll say the key of this object, as we are repeating this all the time, so that's why we need the key. So I'll say cat.cat_id. We are using this cat here, And then we need here, instead of these values, so first of all we need our own value. So in case we are updating a data, so we need some value here. I'll say cat dot category name. So, and then inside this, so here it will be cat dot category underscore name, and we close this just like that. So let's save this and see if everything is working. Here it's looking good. So as we get here, we can see we got no data. So let's refresh this one. So let's now click on edit. Now we got no data here for the create the same way, but we have all these categories here. Now it's from 30,001. It's for this app which is running here, but we need this from our 3000, not from 3001. So we got all these categories from 3001 or 3000, so it should actually work. Now we are getting no error, and still we are not able to fetch those data. So let's see what's wrong here. So now here it's looking good. Now let's see with our function. Now this should be some problem here. So let's console.log everything so we can see if everything is working. So console.log response.data. We're getting the data here. Now we need to refresh this. So let's refresh this one. Now it's refreshed. And let me check here. You're getting some warnings, but no data. Nothing is here. And also here we don't get anything. So which means our use effect is not running, and the reason is I'm using the fetch data outside of my curly braces. We need to use this just here and not there, and that was the error here. So like that, if we save this, now it should work. We don't need this console.log also. Save this again, and if we go back, as you see, we got all those data also here. And now refresh this again, and now if I go here, we should be able to take the categories. As you see, we got the categories, and also they are appearing here, so we can update this. Now also here, if we say create, now as you see, we got all those categories. Now here, edit, and now it should just take the category which is selected here, but now as you see, we are getting not the same response as we want. So that's why we need the onChange function as we did for the checkbox here also. So I'll just reduce the terminal here, and then we need the same thing from here just for our categories. So inside the select, and here I'll put this onChange, and now we need just here some changes. Here you will say category underscore name. Name should be e.target.value and not any kind of number here, like this. Now as we got this, we need also the value here. So the value will be all the time the values which we got for our update. So if we got anything inside the props, it should give me the values dot category underscore name. So category underscore name, and let's save it. And if we go back here, as you see, it has selected the category for us. Now let me try this with this one. Now you see category 2, and if we click this, new category name, so there are different categories which we have used. So it means our form is now completed for the first part. Now let's go ahead and try to create something and see what happens. Now to create something, I need an image, so let me copy the image of this one. Maybe it's better because you're using the apple twice here. So now use test, and we need our image URL, and then we need some excerpt, some content, some author, featured or not, and the category. So the category is 7. Now we'll say create. Oh, it's not working, and it makes sense because in our create button, so we got this create button, it should be a submit button. So that's why we need to define a type of submit. So this way it should be able to submit our form here. Otherwise it will not react. So let's save this. And if we go back, now let me create this. Now as you see, it's working, but it says router is not defined. So let's see what's wrong here with our router. Why is it not defined? So we got use router, and then here we got const router is equal to use router. Oh, we did a mistake. It shouldn't be here inside this, so inside this function, but it should be inside our component. So let's bring this out of here and save it, and let's go back to the browser. So as you see, the error is gone. So here let's try to create something, or we can just update. This way we can also check everything. So I'll say here the title of this will be, for example, 5, and the category also. Let's save this, and nothing happens, but it redirects us, so it's not taking effect. Now let's refresh this one, and it's still not doing the same thing. So let's see what we did wrong. So we got everything here, but inside our post, so we are posting, put the data, and this will be our API. So we got the values. So let's console.log this and see what we get. So this way we can understand what's going on. So I'll say console.log, and then I'll get just the values. So we'll see if we pass the real values there. So now I'll say here inspect console, and then let me try with this one. So here, let me just click on this. So as you see, we got everything as we want, but let's make some changes. For example, in title, let me remove this one and type some number, and we'll see what we'll get here. And here we got the title, but oh, it's inside an array. Why? We got everything the same, but here we got inside array. Is it doing with category also? Let me see. We got title, but the category is correct. Now let me change for something like excerpt. So here, now we got the title. We are creating some mistake. We got the excerpt also as an array. So let's see, I think I'm passing everything as array, so it should be our handle submit. So let's go ahead and see in handle change, and here everything is looking good. So let's see what's wrong with our handle change. Here we got values, previous values should take, and it will take them, and then we got target name, target value. Oh, I have covered this also inside an array, so that's why we are getting the array also all the time. So let's remove this. Now I'm sorry for that. So it should solve our problem. Now let's go ahead and try again. So it will be 2 3 4 again. Let me try this. Now it should update our data. Now let me see this. So we got this 2 3 4, or let me give it just some numbers here like that and update it. Do we get the numbers? So yes, they are here, and also it's updated here. So it means everything is now working. So let me try with this one. So again, and now I want to just make this a little shorter here because it's taking too much place. And you can of course slice the title or slice the excerpt, but for now I'm not doing this. So let's save this, and we got let's excerpt here. Now let me close this one, we don't need this. And if we change something else here, for example this one to 5, now let's see, as you see, we got our new post here. So let me create a new post so it will be better for us to see something. Now let me bring some pixabay picture. So pixabay I need, and I'll go here and search for something, or just take this randomly. So I'll take this beautiful cat from here, and then we'll create a new title, new post. So I'll give the image URL and then some excerpt. So excerpt for testing, like that. And then we got some content. I don't want to waste the time. And then featured, it should be featured so we can see it here. And then I'll say this will be 6 and create it. Now as you see, we got our post here. It's looking beautiful. We got new post example, and of course we need some padding here. We will take care of this UI also, but for now we have done it. We are creating and we are generating our post without any problem, and everything is working as desired. So if I want to just update the title here, so make it something long, so like this, and if you update this, now as you see, we got that update also here. But for now we are still not finished, because if we just update this one, we don't see any notification that the form is updated, and also we don't get rid of this form from here. So that's not looking good like that. So let's take care of this also, and also we need to delete the data. So let's first of all make our delete function, so that we can delete everything. So now we got our handle change, and after this, or just after this create, so we will also create a delete function here. So here I'll comment it and I'll say delete post, and for now I'll say const, and we call this just something like delete data or delete post. So let's say delete post, like that, and this will be also async, like this, and we need our fat arrow, and inside this now we can define our axial. So here everything will be the same as above. So const res is equal to, and we need those backticks, but let me copy everything so we don't waste the time from here. So I'll just copy everything, copy it, and use it for our delete. So like this, and inside this we don't need props.post, because we are not checking if the data is here. So like this, and we got await. We don't need this also, because we need everything. The values is we don't need, and that's it for here. So let's close this one also. So here all what we do is we are getting just the put, but here we need to define our delete function, and we use also the post ID as above. That's why we are using these backticks here, so we can type our JavaScript there. And after this, of course, we need to return something. So here I say const post data. So post data is equal to response.data, but still we are inside these backticks. Let's remove this one. We don't need backticks here, but also this should be inside backtick, because we need this here. So as you see, we got this one, so let's copy this one and use it here. Now it's working. And after this, so const post data, so is equal to await, and we'll say response dot data, and then we need to return something here. Now let's return something like a function, and this function will get our data for us. So I'll say post data, and then we'll say push us. So our router should navigate us to another screen, or just home screen, push, and this should be home. Here we need this, so like that, and then let's Now save this. So now everything is done here. So now we have to run this delete function just like we did for post data. So of course we need to handle this also. So let me copy this one and handle this also here. So I'll say handle submit. Here I'll say just will be handle delete, and here we don't need this post data values because we'll just use our function directly. So let me copy this one here. We don't need any value. It should just run this one. So now we can use this handle delete also inside our submit button. So let's go ahead and delete. So as you see, we got this delete button here. So here for this delete button, we will just say if it is unclicked. So if it's clicked, so it should run our function here. So I'll say unclick, and then I'll say undo delete. So it will run our function for us, which will just delete the data, of course, for us. So now let's go ahead and check if everything is working. Now we're here. Now this was our new post, so let's delete this. Now it's running but not deleting, so let's refresh this. So we get the data. Now as you see, it has already deleted. Now we can check this with this one also. So let's delete it. As you see, it's gone. Now everything is working for us. So these are duplicated, so let's delete one of them also. Now as you see, it's gone. So this way we can just delete all the data which we don't need. So now as we can delete everything, let's go ahead, take care of our snack bars. So if we created a new post, it should just notify us something here and say the post has been created, or if we update something, that should say the post has been created or updated, and also the same way for delete. So let's go ahead and see how to do this. So now for this we need two things. One is Snackbar from Material UI, and also we need the alert. So let's see how to use this. Now here before our dialog, so we can use this. So now I'll say here I need a Snackbar. So I'll import this Snackbar from Material UI, and then inside this we have to define some props, and also we can use the alert inside this. So for this I'll say import the alert also. So it's also coming from MUI material. So we got the alert, and we can close this like that. And for this we got some props also, so we can define where the origin of this its anchor should be. So anchor origin you can define anywhere you want, but for now I'll say here it should be vertical like this, and then we'll say it should be on top. So I'll say vertical top, and horizontally it should be in center, so it will be just centered in our container. So here I'll say it is just center like this, and then we need one prop for this. So here I'll say the prop of open. So when should it open? Now for this we need one state, and I'll call this open snack. We will create this in a minute. So we get this one, and also auto hide, so it should hide itself. When should it hide? So here auto hide duration will be something in seconds. So here I'll say it should just auto hide itself after 2000 seconds. You can of course define any amount of time you need. So here I'll say on close, not click, and it should of course close itself. And here for this we need a function. So curly braces. So and then we'll say function, and this callback function, it will just set the snack or open snack to opposite of it. So open snack. Now let's create this state, otherwise you'll get error all the time. So let's create this one here. Now before this I'll say const, and we need just snack or open snack. I think I said open snack, and they should be of course inside the array, but for now let's set open snack like that, and we have to cover this like this, and then we need our use state here. So use state, and at the start it will be just false. So open snack, set open snack, it's here. And also for the alert we need one, so I'll say here, or not alert, but for a message in the alert we need also one. So here I'll say message like this, and then set message, and this should be also use state. And then inside this, of course, it will be nothing at the start. So now as we got these two here, now I'll copy this message also, or we need this set open snack. So we got an error here, so that's it here. So we got open snack, and this should be for open. Okay, so there's another error here. It should be equal to, of course, open snack. So it will be just open snack with lowercase, and then we need to set the open snack. So set open snack, and to the opposite of it. Now you know the game, guys. If you have followed this course, this shouldn't be a problem for you anymore. So we got this, and let's save this one. We got that, and inside this we'll put a message. So for the alert, first of all, I'll say here, of course, again on close. So if it's just closed, it will do something for us. It should just close also the snack bar. Otherwise the snack bar will be always there. So set open snack, it will just use this one, set open snack, and this should be not open snack again, like that. So we got this one, and use this one also here. And also for the alert, there are many props you can use, but for now I'll say severity, and this should be something like success. So it will be a green color. And then we got the width of this. I want to be 100%. Sx is equal to, and this should be something width like this. And the width of this will be 100%, like that. And inside this we'll show our message. So let's put the message here, like that. Now as we got our message and the snack bar, so we need to use them. Now to use them at the start, as it's false, we can't see anything. Now if we go back here, you can see there's nothing here. But if we just go ahead and use the initial value as true, so, and save it, and if we go back, now as you see we got the snack bar. So this green color with just a close on it, and if I click on it, it will close itself. Now as we got this one, we should go ahead and run this or use this inside our post create, and also for delete post. So for this we need to use this inside our handle delete and also handle submit. So here I'll say set message. So first of all we should create a message for this, and we have to tell the message what it should be. Now I'll say here post created successfully, or post created, like that. Just easy. And after this we have to, of course, set open snack to true, otherwise we can't see this message. So this should be set to true. Now we can use this just like that everywhere we want. Now here we got handle change, and for handle delete let's do the same thing, and I'll say here post deleted, like that, and this will be true. And let's save this. Now if we go back and if we update this one, just its category, so update, as you see, post created. Now it's saying for the update the same thing, because we haven't created any condition here. So no problem, we will take care of this in a minute. But if we click on the delete, so as you see it's gone and it's not showing anymore here. So if you want that to be here for a long time, you have to change the time of this for like half a minute, and this way you will get that here. But for now it's just okay for me, because if I delete this, now as you see it says deleted, but it just redirects us to our another post. So now let's take care of the messages of post created and also post deleted, because that's not good if we get for post updated that the post is created. It's not looking good here. So that's why we need to take care of this inside our create or post data function, where we just create our post. Now here, as it's a promise, we can just change this. So we can say .then it should set the message to something we want. So this way we will get our desired message, because here we know that if we use this props.post is true, it's a put, then it's update. So for this we'll set the message to updated. So here I'll say post updated like this, and I'll say here successfully, and we can use the same thing for the created. So here we got the values and then .then, and this way we can just say post created successfully. And now as we are setting our message to what we want, so for this we don't need to create any message here for our created or for our handle submit. So I'll just remove this because we are setting the message already there in our promise. So let's save this, and if we go back, now let me update this one. So here I'll say post updated like this and updated. You see, post updated successfully. The same way it is just gone. And now here if we create a post, so I'll say create test. So create test, and we need an image here. Now I'll take this one from here. I just use this one. So now copy image link, and then we should be here. So like this, and we give it some excerpt content, and then we'll just choose a category for this, and we'll say create. Now as you see, it says post created successfully. Now as we get everything as we want, so we can just create the post, we can just also delete them if we want, we can update the post. For example, let me update the image of that. So let's take some image from here. Now let me copy this eye. So, and if we go back and try to change the image of that, so update it, as you see we got this image of eye here, we got our snack bar and also different messages for every handles. So everything is working as desired. So that's it for this part. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please press the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel. In the next part, I'll show you how to convert everything we did to app directory of NEXT.js13. So if you want to learn how to convert and update your project to the new app directory of NEXT.js13, so don't forget to press the bell icon so you get informed as I upload the new video. For now, I wish you all the best. See you in next videos.